Yo guys, first of all, I put my hair in a bun and I don't know how to act. Like I was literally in the mirror like, oh, hello? Who is that? Oh, it's me. No.
A sip of PNJ.
So welcome back. Let me get comfortable so we can talk about today's video. Trying to make sure I don't flash you guys. But yes, welcome back. I'm glad you could join me on my couch in my robe, same spot, probably a different time depending on when I post this. But for today's video, the category is most fun to film. And I know I always say this, that it was a hard decision, what you will, same thing. This applies as well. But there's actually a couple of videos that I was choosing between. But ultimately, the one that I picked is actually the first video that we filmed. So the video 9/11, I would say was the most fun to film. And just because it was a journey, it was me, Marcus, and Clarence, and I had a videographer that I met through another person who was supposed to film all my videos for me. So we all were supposed to meet at Central Park at 9 a.m. Marcus shows up at 8 a.m. or something because, he off or he want to be early, overachiever, whatever you want to call it. But I remember us waiting for this videographer, hearing nothing. I'm reaching out to her. She's like, oh, I'm on my way. She was on her way for hours. You know when somebody's on their way for hours, but you're like, you're not coming, so just tell me that? Yeah. It took her a long time to do that. So Marcus and Clarence and I went to Chick-fil-A. So we were waiting for this girl. While we were at Chick-fil-A, she texted me that she's not coming. And at this point, it had been an hour or so. So we kind of figured. And so that's when I kind of was like, Marcus, you got a camera, you take pictures, you're a photographer, why can't you record? And he was like, I don't do that. And so that's when Clarence and I started joking with him that he must got shaky hands. We're like, oh, you can't record because you got shaky hands. We could get you a tripod. It was actually hilarious. I don't know if Marcus found it hilarious, but I did. But he was like, oh, I got shaky hands. I just don't record. That's not what I do. But after a lot of joking and kind of pushing, he agreed to do it. I think he probably just felt bad for me, and we had already all traveled to Central Park. We were already committed, so I think he kind of felt like he had no choice. But I appreciate it because he ended up recording the rest of my videos. But yeah, it was the first video that we did, so I didn't know anything. Marcus was over here telling me to yell action, to yell cut, and I'm looking at him like, oh, I'm supposed to say that? Didn't know. He'll ask me, is this what you want it to look like? I'm looking at him like, I don't know. I have a vision in my head, but I don't know how to actually make it come to life or direct it so it shows up on film the way that I see it in my head. I didn't know none of that. So it was a lot of trial and error. And in the video, Clarence and I are love interests. Think Heart Attack by Trey Songz, the music video, that kind of vibe. But it was funny because the behind the scenes dialogues are ridiculous, actually ridiculous. Just Clarence and I just talking back and forth, Marcus talking to us, it's actually ridiculous. It's hilarious to me. Sometimes I just kind of look at those videos and just laugh to myself because it was actually a good time. It was we didn't know what to expect. We're winging it because what we thought was going to happen today didn't happen. We thought we were going to have somebody who actually does this. That didn't happen. So we're winging it and having fun while we're doing it. And just trying to stare at other couples in Central Park and try to figure out what they're doing that makes them look all lovey so we can do that in our video. But yo, that dialogue, crazy. Just disrespectful and crazy. But I loved it. It was actually a good time, and it made me really thankful for Clarence and Marcus because I'm y'all are really ride or die. This whole thing could have just fell through. They could have been well, you don't got a videographer, we out. But instead, we made a day out of it and had fun. We had Chick-fil-A, we got to film in Central Park and just kiki with each other, make jokes and make memories. And I think that's what it's all about. So the video that was most fun to film is 9/11, and if you haven't seen it, you should check it out right now. Will my death be this beautiful? Will my smile that's imprinted on your heart force burning tears of pain down your cheeks, leaving crates filled with my absence? Will my death be this beautiful? Will strangers gather in my name because the sound of my footsteps sang a song of freedom? Will my death be this beautiful? Will something as benign as the way I rub my forehead to wipe away a day's work be considered a war cry? Will my death be this beautiful?
A sip of B&J at the end of the day warms your body in every single way. A sip of B&J, there when you need it, flows through you like your favorite spirit. A sip of B&J, whenever